Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Monday, the 26th day of January. Here we go. Today we're going to discuss putting on creams and or ointments onto a person on Shabbos. Basically, the rabbis said that we should not do mimareach, that's the smoothing out of things that, well, they considered smoothing out of creams and ointments on ourselves to be mimareach, and told us not to do that on Shabbos. Therefore, let's get to the practical examples of where this would apply. The baby has a pretty bad diaper rash, and you would like to put on some diaper ointment. And it's going to involve squeezing a tube and then putting that ointment on the baby's skin. So the general rule for that type of situation is this. You're not allowed to smear the ointment all over the baby, because that's memareach and that's not allowed. But what you are allowed to do is to just dab the ointment on, and in just like blobs, kind of, just press blobs of it onto the skin, and then they will go wherever they will go when the diaper goes on or whatever. But you're just not allowed to smoothen it on. But dabbing it onto the baby's skin is allowed, and that won't be considered memareach, and you wouldn't have to worry about it if you did it that way. Well, you can do it this way just to be helpful to make it happen right. You can squeeze the tube onto something flat like, I don't know, the back of a spoon or something, and then just press the spoon onto the baby's skin, and you'll get, and that pressing is allowed. That won't be calling smearing. It'll only be smearing if you then rub it around, but just press the dab onto the baby's skin, onto a few spots where you want it, and that won't be considered memareach. Squeezing the ointment out of the tube is also not called mimareach, because the smoothing, or how it kind of forms itself into a shape as it comes out of the nozzle of the tube, that's not really mimareach. That's an unintentional consequence of you squeezing the tube and getting the stuff out, and that is not called mimareach either, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. After you put the ointment onto the baby, then you're going to put the diaper on, and you know that after you put the diaper on, the first time that baby sits down, shmush, now it's all going to get smeared all over the place. But that didn't mean that you actually smeared the ointment. You dabbed it on, then you put on a diaper, and then the baby sat and did whatever it did. So you can allow it to happen that way and feel no guilt. It'll be totally allowed. Now let's get off of the baby for a minute, but the same kind of thing could apply to you and me whenever we have, let's say, a cut that's becoming infected, and it becomes permissible to put an antibiotic cream onto the site of the wound, and then when you put on, and again, you're going to dab it on. You're not going to smear it. You'll just dab it on in a way similar to what we just described, and then you're going to put a Band-Aid on it, and when the Band-Aid goes on, some smearing will eventually happen as the Band-Aid presses itself against the skin, but you're not smearing it around. You're just placing a Band-Aid over the dab, and that too would be allowed. Same thing with, let's say you're going to squeeze out a little bit of ointment from a tube into an eye, where the eye needs some eye ointment, and it's Shabbos. So the smearing that may happen as the eyelids blink and cause it to move around, that's not something that you would have to worry about either, as long as you just dab the ointment onto the eye. The general rule in all of these cases that I just mentioned is you can dab a cream or an ointment, you just can't smear them. And the inadvertent smearing that happens when a bandage is put on, or a diaper, etc., or eyelids blinking, those are things that you don't have to worry about. Thanks for logging on, and log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.